rising so heavily, and he's just showing a whole new level of Protoss play, I do think.
Yes, it's different from everyone else's. I actually said this, I'm going to be a hipster and say it, I was like, I think he understands Protoss better than everyone. And then MVP said that, so I'm right. Yeah. Bam. Anything MVP says must be true, right?
But I thought the same thing. Of course, I wasn't caught on camera, so it looks like I'm just a bandwagon nerd. But
no. You're not a bandwagon nerd. You're an OG nerd like me. An ON, an original nerd.
Oh, nice.
No.
Did you coin that term?
I just made it up right now.
Okay, awesome.
That's how I roll. I never come with anything pre-planned. So, I mean, he does, though. He understands it so well. Like, for instance, the first time he did that DT build that we were talking about, that Hero just pulled off against Tasia, I could write a book on the things that he did in that game that were so super intelligent. And the thing is, it's amazing, and he has helped Protoss in this way because it has normalized so much to the fact where it's getting almost boring at times.
Yeah. And his main skill seems to be everything.
Yes. Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, he's actually, I think he's the best PvP player in the world. I'm pretty sure.
Because of the way that he can maneuver otherwise equal situations into a massive snowballing advantage.
Yeah.
The way he pre-positions and engages, and especially his patience and the fact that sometimes he will attack in a situation where normally the rule of thumb is if you attack, you lose. But he will attack, but he will draw the opponent into an awkward position and then just have a really great engagement. We saw this in the best of 5 between him and Hero in the quarterfinals of the GSL.
Absolutely, and I feel like he's understanding what's going on in a Protoss battle better than other Protosses in PvP especially.
Yeah.
Like, he was the first Protoss I saw consistently going 8 Colossus when he's planning to attack and 10 when he's planning to defend. And it's like this new number to me at least, where I'm like, oh my god, this is... And I watch the way he maneuvers the army, and that's like what he can maneuver across certain maps and certain locations. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But this is a PvZ, and it's a matchup we haven't seen as much from him as PvT and PvP.
Yeah, and of course, when Rain first came to fame in StarCraft 2, this is pretty much all we saw out of him. It was a very Zerg-dominated time, and he took out a lot of top Zergs. He took out Dongrigu several times across different leagues. He took out, I believe, Lenok in the WCS Korea Nationals. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I believe he did.
And he was showing some really nice timings. At a time where Protoss was prone to attack at 15 minutes or so, he would attack at 14 with Colossus Stalker, not quite maxed out yet, but he would maneuver again so beautifully. And it's really cool to see. And then there was a time where we didn't see Rain that much in PvZ.
Yeah.
He was being exposed a lot to PvT at first, and then also a whole bunch of PvPs. Right now, he's saying PvZ is his weakest. Hey, he said that about PvP too. Don't believe this man when he's saying that anything is his weakest. He does not have a weakest matchup.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
He's not that good at it.
Yeah, maybe ZVZ, but realistically speaking, he's probably great at ZVZ as well. I mean, come on. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he has planned here against F91, because F91, legendary status Chinese player from StarCraft 1, hasn't done it yet in StarCraft 2, but I mean, here he is, right? This is the winner bracket. He's here in the Asia Finals. So he's a force that's going to have to be reckoned with here.
Yeah.
And Rain is going to have to bring some strong play to actually defeat him.
Now, F91 hasn't truly been tested yet in this tournament, if we have to say honestly. He had a first-round opponent of Revenant. Revenant was also always the best player in Singapore for Warcraft 3. He still is apparently in StarCraft 2, but we're speaking of not the very most popular games in Singapore. They're very big on games like Dota and League of Legends.
Yeah.
Not quite so much on the single-player RTS. So he's the king in a land of medium-skill players, let's say.
Yeah.
And so we haven't really seen F91 tested yet. He's using the ID Phoenix here, but you guys probably won't get to see that so much because there's a nice overlay.
Well, that's his team, I believe.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, Phoenix F91?
Yeah.
Alright, makes sense.
So, alright, so here we are. Time to start figuring out what's going on. Of course, the +1 on the way, Sentry's on the way, he is making the Observer, and looking at Rain's build, looks like an expansion. Looks like he wants a third base.
Yeah. So Rain is doing what used to be, before we saw like Twilight expansions with 4-gate, what used to be the most standard and the first kind of normalized build for PGZ taking a third base. We went from this phase where Protoss was mostly all-inning off of 2 base to a point where finally the correct configuration, which is the most stable, was found in a PvZ to take a third. And that is exactly like follows. 1-gate robo, double observer, 1 to scout and 1 to check the front to see where Zerg is going to attack, and then continuous immortal production with a third around the 9-minute mark. And that's just about exactly what we're probably going to be seeing.
Yeah, exactly. And from F91, now look at this.
Whoa.
Speed, a Baneling Nest, and 6 Spore Crawlers. So he has no idea what's going on. Zero clue as to what tech is coming at him. It looks like, I mean, what...
7 Spore Crawlers?
Like, this is overkill against someone going DT Void Ray, okay? This is... this is too many. He hasn't... The thing is, he hasn't been able to scout anything. He's seen a lot of gas, and that's it. He hasn't seen the robo. He hasn't seen anything, really, so...
So he's assuming this is double Stargate based on what?
The double gas of the expansion, I guess? Like, but the thing is, there's a lot of builds that will utilize that, like a strong Sentry +2 Blink Stalker push will utilize 2 gases at a similar timing, and I'm really surprised he made this many spores.
Yeah,
really
you guys
surprised.
might be wondering, well, what's wrong? You know, he's still ahead more than 10 in supply, he's at 70+ drones, he's on target, but normally, 10 minutes, you would already have 6 gases, you would have your infestation pit finished already, you'd be starting pathogen glands. He doesn't even have a roach warren yet. Whoa.
He's getting a Hydralisk Cavern. I mean...
Hydralisk Den and a roach warren at 10 minutes.
I like Hydralisk Cavern better. But, no, I mean, he's getting Hydras, he's gotten a Baneling Nest, he is getting that +1 attack now. I think I was casting with you earlier when I mentioned it's pretty popular in China for Zerg players in this matchup to get drops and utilize those against Protoss, especially when they take a third base. Now, he hasn't started those upgrades. I don't think he's going to do it this time, but with +1 melee really quickly, if you can get that +2 for Baneling drops, that's pretty
cool.
sick. So he might be headed towards that,
but I think Overlord drops take like 160 seconds or so.
Whoa. 15 Hydras. 16 Lings. Okay.
This is not Brood War, right?
Well, actually, F91, to be fair, when he plays, it does look like he's playing Brood War still. And for those of you who aren't StarCraft 1 fans or old players or whatever, you go Hydra in StarCraft 1. They cost like 1 supply, 25 gas, 75 minerals. They're insanely quick. They're just an amazing unit. They were like what Roaches do now, except better. So
because they get to attack air. This is pretty funny, funky build from F91. He's also going to go for Spire. So basically, F91 is meticulously trying to avoid making the units which Zerg gets accused of the most: Infestors and Broodlords.
Yeah, and no Infestors, no Broodlords, no Roaches. He has a Roach Warren. He hasn't upgraded anything on it. He hasn't. I mean, this is weird play, guys. Yeah. And Rain is actually getting charged right now.
Oh, he does that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but is that any good here? And look at this, F91 pushing forward right now. And those Hydras obviously going to do very well against Immortals, but Force Field's very good against Hydras as well. And so far, Rain with great defense.
Yeah, and here comes the second push in from F91. He's only going to get about 5 Hydras to bring about in this fight. Maybe we'll kill off an Immortal, but I don't think this is worth it. He is, however, killing off some gateways, and that might throw some problems for Rain to be able to spend his resources effectively.
Well, he just got blunked, Grubby, and down go a lot of these Hydras, but a lot of Lings coming in. I don't think Rain expected these Lings to come up here. This is really helping the Hydras out, but with fancy Blink Micro, Rain has destroyed absolutely everything, and now their supplies are even, and 8 mutas are on the way. This is so weird.
This is so weird. He's making the weirdest tech switches: 7 spores into Hydra Ling, into mutas.
And, well, I'm
he
trying
killed all
to.
the sentries.
He killed the sentries. That's true, but normally, if you really want to kill sentries, you might open with Muta and then go into like Ling Roach or something. Whereas he's killed off the sentries and now gone into Muta against someone that's likely to only continue Stalker production because he already has upgrades and Blink.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain.
Yeah, but we'll try. F91 is on 78 drones, and he's making 7 more, so he's hoping that these 10 mutas can buy him roughly 5 minutes or so as he gets a unit that can actually win fights for him.
Yeah, you know, to be fair, he is getting Baneling speed, and if you've killed off all the sentries, that's going to be very useful, Banelings. I wish that he had gone Infestors instead of Mutas. In fact, he's making even more Mutas now, and already 5 cannons and Psystorm on the way. I mean, this is... I feel like F91 is so strongly countered that all Rain has to do is take his time and watch his army when he moves across the map.
Yeah, that's true. As soon as Rain covers his defenses with cannons and High Templars, he can just go and attack. And the only thing that will really probably be able to beat him in the next 1 or 2 minutes or so is a massive wave of Banelings. Yeah.
That's really his chance here. And he almost has that +2 attack. He may have that before the engagement. Now, he is making more and more mutas. Could turn into a base trade because of that, but against cannons and Storm, I mean...
Yeah. There we go with 17 Banelings. Centrifugal Hooks is finished. 2-0 will as well finish. And he's going to kill that probe, so there won't be any 4th yet. Economically, once you have a lot more resources than Protoss, Banelings can be pretty cool, even against Blink Stalkers.
Sure, yeah. But